that your name is Francesca Fiorentini? You're muted.
So I'm muted and I'm Francesca. How do I get any better than that?
Sorry if Francesca is taken. I'd rather have you instead.
You got me. I've changed it. There you go. I must be on her Zoom thing. I don't know.
I know. Okay, so let me see how we do this. No, I don't want this one. I want this one, and I don't want this one either. So I'll just, yeah, like that. So let's check where we look, because I know this is a strange thing, but you'll know. If I look like this, I look straight into your eyes, right?
Oh, yes, look into my eyes.
I know, but because if I look at you, which is there, I'm not looking into your eyes. So if you look a bit up, you will be looking at you when you're talking to me, and then we are you. How does it get any better than that? Ready?
It looks cool. Yes.
Yay! Oh, yay! Fucking shit! Let's do it.
So excited.
1, 2, 3. Wait, it was working. We won.
Boom.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the mini Zoom series with facilitators and their favorite tools. For those of you who do not know what Access Consciousness is, it's this huge box of tools where we go, we pick one or the other, and we change lives like that, like magic, if we choose to. And today I have the pleasure, the honor, and the excitement to have Theresa Finnigan with me, who's herself a certified facilitator and so much more. So Theresa, before I let you speak, I like to speak myself. So before we get to speak, there are 2 rules. 1, we have fun, and 2, we have fun. Questions? Who are you? And what's your, too much enthusiasm. What's your favorite tool? Shoot!
Oh my goodness. Boom. Well, firstly, I would like to say that the pleasure is all mine. I am so happy to be here with you and your joyous, yummy, luscious, amazing body. You're just so much fun. And how could anybody possibly be serious when they're with you? I mean, come on, not real. This is Selena. Like, you know, she should have been called Fun. Like, that's just, you know.
They could have called me Joy, right?
Well, you're even more than Joy. You're just so expansive. And it truly is difficult to get stuck in your story, to be down, to be miserable, when somebody that you can be with has so much enthusiasm for life, for living, for business, for creation, and that's you. So
I'm in an exercise of lowering my barriers and receiving, because this mini Zoom is not about me, it's about you guys.
Well, it is, and I guess as well, if you see it, then you be it. So I see it in you, and I am most definitely willing to step into it, to receive it, and to be that space, that energy space, and enthusiastic joy and passion that you be. So I'm willing to have that too.
Thank you. Woohoo! And how does it get any better than that?
Well, exactly. So for me, things have got better because I'm a born-again virgin. I'm a virgin certified facilitator. So I know, so much joy, so many possibilities. You know, you think you only get your first time once. That's not true. You can have it more than once.
Ooh, you got me there.
So yeah, we were in Costa Rica together very recently, and yes, so I'm now certified, maybe certifiable at times, but I'm a facilitator. And what fun and magic and joy can we have in the world? So I'm very excited to be here. I'm very happy to now be a certified facilitator. And yes, thank you for asking me to come and play.
Oh, you're so welcome. And I mean, like, you're so welcome. You're speaking about my joy. For those of you who haven't watched yet your Facebook lives, they should go and have a look over there to have a grasp of your kindness and of your space, of allowance, of wow.
Oh, I'm going to cry.
Okay, we're going to talk about this a bit later. Right now, I'm like, let's stick to the plan.
But that's serious. And you said we had to have fun. So, yeah. I'm going to throw a little chaos into the mix. So, what is my favorite Access Consciousness tool? Chaos. Literally.
Woohoo!
It's instilling chaos into everything I do. And whether that is asking a question that puts somebody in the question and makes a little bit of chaos. So they're like, oh my God, now what do I do? Or whether that's literally like, at the moment, my house is in complete, what some people would call turmoil. And yet I'm fizzing and bubbling with so much joy. My daughter arrived home this morning after a sleepover last night. She's like, Mum, I want to change my bedroom around and I don't want that set of drawers and I want my bed over there and I want a room and everything. She's literally emptied her bedroom and it's everywhere across the house. And it's so fun. She's clearing stuff out. She's like moving things around. And that's creating magic from that space of chaos. And other people may go to the, oh, you know, this is such a mess and I don't have time for this and like, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I go, okay, so how much joy can we have out of this chaos? How much more chaos can we instill in this mess to make it even greater, to make something else possible that's never been considered before? So I have many favorite tools, and today that is my favorite tool. If you ask me tomorrow or even in an hour's time, it may be later because we do have a lot to play with. But right now, in these 10 seconds, my favorite tool is instilling chaos.
Wow, I'm like, ha 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 ha, you know, my jaw's like, on some level, I'm like, yes, and on some level, oh, she's bringing the chaos in.
I'm bringing the chaos in.
It means what? It means that, we're done with doing control. Oh God. When you talked about your daughter spreading all her stuff I might have tapped into the energy of all those parents who go like, what's going on? And please do whatever you have to do, but keep me out of that. And then yet, how much is she now creating without even acknowledging it? And how many futures is she actually actualizing when she's willing to go through all that blah?
Exactly. And it's that level of instilling her with a sense of independence. She's only 11 and she's pulling a double, she's got a big double bed. Her and her friend, they're moving drawers together, they're moving the bed, they're just, you know, and how much is that creating something greater for her? She's going to be proud of herself. She's creating it herself. She doesn't want me and her dad to help her. And she's doing it. So go girl, you know, I'm all for it. Let her. She's like, oh Mum, for Christmas, can I have a new rug for my floor? And I'm like, sweetheart, if you're doing your room, you can have a new rug now. So it's like, she's like, oh, wonderful. Yeah, it's like, yeah, but it's £30. I'm like, and we can have a new rug. And what if it was, you know, what else do you require? And what else can make your room fun? It's her space. So,
and how much more can she create? Maybe she will pay for the rug herself. I mean, there's so many opportunities. But what I would like to stop there for a fraction of a second and see how much does this create for you?
Well, it's actually the space that I've been in myself today, which is kind of in fact, for the last 2 days. So I'm sat in my office now. So up until Friday evening, what's behind me is like the front comes down and it's got a desk on it. And that was the only space I had to work. And the rest of my office was just a mess. It was a mess. I've been piling stuff up and piling stuff up. And I've recently, on Friday, I bought a huge desk that goes right the way along this wall where I'm sitting. And I pulled everything out. I created chaos and threw things away. And from this, like my whole business, like this morning, my computer and my phone are going ping, 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 ping. And there's like, okay, this is asking to be created now. This is asking to go up. I'm working on docs for classes. There's a choice of possibilities with Gary in 2 weeks in London. I'm working on that class. I'm working on my foundation class next week. I'm working on future creations. And it's not linear. It is from that space of expanded awareness where I've got this overview of everything that's going on. I'm tapped into all of the little individual moving parts. Now I'm like, hey, do you need me today? Hey, do you need me today? What's required? Where am I required? Where's my attention required? And it isn't even from a space of where am I needed today. It's like, okay, now where's my attention required? Okay, now where is it required? It literally is the other amazing tool of living life in 10-second increments.
Yeah. And
so it's definitely using the tools of Access Consciousness and integrating them into your life, your living, your business. Nothing is ever linear. Nothing. It's, you go, if you're willing to be that space and to go with the flow, it's a magical journey that takes you to places like you never thought you would ever go and meet amazing people that you might never have met otherwise. So yes, I love it.
Well, what else can I add here? I mean, not add, but that's, wow. That, with each and every facilitator that I get to meet, I get this new perspective on the tools. And to tell you the truth, I was like, sometimes get this thing where chaos is the one that creates, but I need order around me. And actually with you talking to me, I realized that I don't need order. I mean, order that something has to go according to a certain rule. I just like my space to be organized so that I have more space where to do my swirls.
Yes,
like
absolutely.
A pink there and a pink there and a pink here, and
there's a big difference between chaos and chaotic. Like chaotic is kind of where you've lost it completely and you're not, like, there isn't, like I say, it's not being in control, but when it gets chaotic, it's like, that's not fun. That's too, it's really like, but when you're just creating from that space of chaos where you're literally throwing things up when I teach bars, and Access Bars is a class that you take, it's one of the first classes that you can take in Access Consciousness. And we talk about chaos, and people always go like, oh no, chaos, I need to be in control. And I say, I liken it to baking a cake. And this is really probably a very silly analogy, but it's my analogy. So when you make a cake, you're mixing eggs and butter and margarine, and you have this messy, you're sieving flour, and you have a messy slop, right? That is chaos. It's not, it just doesn't make sense to put all these ingredients together and taste them without them being cooked. It's like, it's not nice, So then you put it in the oven, and what you get is, hopefully, is beautiful food. So
hopefully.
hopefully.
In this case, that would be.
Oh well, I love baking. But when I bake, I wouldn't have said that I'm particularly tidy. So I do have, I'll be sieving flour, and there's flour everywhere, and then there's caster sugar, and there's butter and eggs, and you have all these dishes, and it's like, oh my God, such a mess. It's such a chaos. But then you have this yummy, delicious food at the end of it. And that's how I liken the chaos to in my life. So my daughter's making a complete mess and moving everything, but then at the end, when it all comes back together, she will have more space, she will be happier, her room's going to be better. And when you bring it all back together, it's also, for me, I look at the energy of, is this now required? Is this congruent with where I'm going with my life? Is this congruent with what I want to choose? Is it time to let this go? So, for instance, when I was rearranging this room on Friday night and yesterday morning, I was looking at paperwork and things that I'd been saving for in case I ever needed them. But I had piles of stuff that was just taking up space and didn't give me that freedom of energetic movement around where I was working. So now it's gone. The stagnant has gone, and the space for possibility. And that's what comes from throwing a little chaos magic into the mix.
And I have an extra information on whatever happened on your weekend today. And I'm like, I would like to ask you, to what extent instilling chaos in our own bodies at some point can also be a source of creation for greater. Mm-hmm. Like for that, you had a very interesting weekend. Your body was not exactly in its comfort zone.
Absolutely not. So you and I were meant to do this recording the other day, 3 days ago or something. And my body, I woke up and I was very contracted. Like my body was like really bleh, and there isn't a word for it. Bleh sums it up perfectly. And I felt really heavy, as if I was under the weight of something without knowing what it was. And in the past, I would have gone to, oh, I feel poorly, oh, I'm not well, oh, I am sick. And in all of that, there isn't a question. And it's just, I am, and therefore you are, it's so that you create it because you say that's the way it is. So it was kind of like, not feeling great. What is this, body? What are you trying to show me? Body, what are you aware of? What are you telling me? And without going to any definition or conclusion about it, and asking my molecules to be that, again, that chaotic space and magic. So, okay, buddy, what can we do to change this? What can we do to shift it? And I have had some huge changes over the last 3 weeks, going to Costa Rica, really out of my comfort zone, participating in an amazing class, traveling back, stuff changing with my family. Like, it's, in the past, I would have gone to my bed. I would have been, I'm depressed, I'm not right, I'm just going to go and lie in bed and stay here and just have a duvet month. And never mind
a bed hair month.
Yes, a bed hair month. Just leave me alone. I don't want to speak to anybody. I don't want to do anything. Just leave me alone. And instead I was like, okay, so what are you aware of, body? Whose does it belong to? And there, in the class that you were there in Costa Rica as well, there was 260 people or something. It was a huge class. So how aware was I of everybody else who was changing, mutating, choosing something greater, stepping into that space? Because you were already a certified facilitator. So you were just there for the fun, the joy, the renewal of your license. But there were a lot of people in that class, like myself, who are all now virgin facilitators. And
how fun is that?
Well, it is fun. And at the same time, then it's kind of very easy without asking, if you don't ask a question, to go into that space of overwhelm, like, oh, no, I can't do it. What have I got to do? And all of that. And that's what I was locking into my body. And I was like, okay, so if this wasn't real and true for me, what else would be possible? If I was willing to let this go and not buy it as mine, what would I choose?
Yeah.
And how much chaos can I instill to shift this as quickly as possible? And so I had a day where I continued working, but I didn't put my camera on. So I didn't go to bed, but I was on lots of meetings, and I couldn't face, I don't wear a lot of makeup anyway, but I wasn't fit to be on camera.
So that's a very nice, gentle, kind and caring judgment.
It was kind for me and my body. I didn't want to put myself through it. And I was like, do you know what? I'm here and I'm working, but you don't really need to see me. I'm here, and that's enough. So I kept on working. I didn't buy into the, oh, woe is me. And I worked through it. And within 2-3 days, I think today's day 3. And today I'm absolutely over the moon. And one of the things that I also got when my body felt really compressed was, it's time to change something. And that was when I was like, I need space. In order to create, in order to move forward, I need this physical space as well as the energetic space. And I said to my husband, because in this room, I used to have a day bed. And the idea, when I first got this, my husband built me this extension for my room, and he built it about 5 years ago now. And it was meant to just be Theresa's space. It wasn't, I wasn't doing office stuff. It was just Theresa's space. And I had this day bed, and it was so I could come in, lounge on my bed, listen to meditation music, read a book, whatever. But over time, this bed just got more and more and more stuff piled on it. So I had Access Consciousness books, Access manuals, things that I was in creation with. And they were just, there was no space on the bed for anybody to sit, never mind relax. And so I was like, okay, it's time for something different. It's time to choose something different. So without any judgment of me, because I was then throwing away my bed that I really liked, it was okay. So where else can that be used? And what else can I bring into this space that's going to assist me to be that space and magic and creative chaos that I'm choosing to be? And 2 days later, it's all done. It happened like that. I mean, I was looking for a desk, and I was shopping online, and the desks were either too big, too small. There was nothing that was right. And somebody said to me when I was in Costa Rica, if you're going shopping online, and he was actually talking about looking for hotels and flights, but he said, ask your body to choose. He said, so before you open your computer, put your hands on your body and go, hey, buddy, what would be a contribution to you? Where would be fun for you to stay? How would it be fun for you to travel? Then open up the computer and let your body search. So I'd spent hours looking and not finding anything. And then this pinged in my head, and I was like, okay. So I put my hands on, I asked my body, I opened the computer and immediately found a desk, literally instantaneously. And somebody was selling it, and it was secondhand. But they were selling it. It was really, really reasonable. And then as I found it, my father-in-law walked into the house, and I said, oh, I found this desk and I'm thinking about buying it. And he said, oh, well, there you go, and gave me the money to buy it. And I was like, body, you're so amazing. Like, how does it get any better than that? So yes, my body is very contributing to my business.
Sweet little delicious body.
Absolutely.
Wow. Well,
so don't function from chaos. Don't throw
Ever.
the chaos magic in. And, you know, choosing not to go into the judgment that's probably one of the key things, because it would be so easy to judge myself and then allow myself to start sinking under the weight of that judgment.
Yeah, and
that's not fun.
And we're never doing that. And even as facilitators or not facilitators, we never do that. Not.
Well, do you know what though? I still do sometimes go to that space where I do judge me, and now I allow myself to have that space, whether it's for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, an hour, whatever it is, and I'll go, okay, and it's that 10-second thing again. So, okay, is this still fun to be in this place? Yes, I want to wallow in self-pity and misery. Okay, is this still fun to be in this place? And then it's like, actually, no, come on, girl, get a grip, choose something different. And then I choose it. So I allow myself that time, and then I'm like, I'm over it. Let's have something different. And then that's great. And you can move on without any kind of like limitation holding you back. It's amazing.
Sometimes we love our limitations. That's what it is. So the moment when, but this is, you just said something that really touches me. The moment when you are willing to look at all those places where you used to judge yourself for, oh God, I'm like this, or I'm like that, or I'm pathetic, or what if you allowed some chaos to come around, and well, it's out of the ordinary that you would be in allowance with that space. 10 seconds. And I also have this rule of, when I don't get to other tools, sometimes it feels so heavy, so intense, so present, so real, that it's like, all of this is mine. And then I'm like, okay, cool. So if all of this is mine, and if I know not this, and consciousness includes everything and doesn't judge anything, and if I choose for 5 minutes to be this pathetic thing, okay, what do I choose afterwards? So okay, cool, you need that body, you need that, we go through that, but then, okay, cool, so what else? What else?
It's like, okay, so if I choose to be in this space, what would my life be like in 5 years' time? And even you don't even have to go to 5 years. So if I'm choosing this, what's this going to create for my life in 5 months' time? What's it going to create in 5 years' time? What's it going to create in 50 years' time? So, and God, if I keep choosing this, my life in 5 months, in 5 years, oh my God, that's like, okay, so like, I'm not going there. So what can I choose that's going to create a life of joy, of ease, of fun and laughter and possibilities? And that's like, okay, so I could choose to stay like this, and I could choose something else.
I was thinking like the Monday mornings, the proverbial Monday mornings, and even if you don't go to what will this create in 5 years, if you start your morning with, well, so what will this create in your day? I mean, what will this create in your week? Are you willing to through your, what if there's other choice?
Exactly. I mean, it's so funny because Access Consciousness and the tools of Access Consciousness play such a huge part in my life. And I also do other things as well. So I'm a Reiki master, and I teach Reiki. And what I find really interesting in my teaching now is that Access comes into the Reiki. So in Reiki, it's just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I will be kind to all living things. Just for today, I will do my work diligently. And I'll say to people, today is a bloody long time sometimes, you know? So I do this other thing as well that's called Access Consciousness, and we talk about living life in 10-second increments. So what if just for the next 10 seconds, you can be happy? What if just for the next 10 seconds, you can be nice to somebody? And then choose again. Do I still want to be nice to them? Do I still want to do my work diligently? Do I still, and keep choosing with no point of view. So no judgment of you if you choose to be not nice to somebody. Cool. And then you can choose again and then be nice and then just keep moving. So I love the way it really, Access Consciousness, the tagline is empowering you to know what you know. And for me, it really is, like, in everything that I do. And like I say, even with Reiki, or whether it's teaching about crystals, or whether it's teaching about access bars or access facelift, or whatever it is, whatever interaction I have with people, it really is empowering them to know, you already know this. Like, what are you aware of that if you choose it can open the door to whatever possibilities you desire to have? What would be fun for you to go and play with? You know, what would be fun for you? Who would be fun for you to talk to? Where would be fun for your body to go? Have you ever, I love doing this. So when you go out and you go, okay, body, so which way?
Oh yeah.
Buddy,
Oh yeah.
which way? Yeah. And you and then you're going, okay, buddy, so which way? And then I'll be like, I have no idea why I'm going this way. It's not where I intended to go. And then you find a restaurant or a coffee shop or a shoe shop.
Something.
Not that I ever find a shoe shop, but you know, like you find somewhere, and then there's this magic, whether it's the most amazing cup of coffee or a beautiful sandwich or an amazing pair of shoes or a pair of earrings or whatever. Just like following your own knowing and choosing, like, your body knows, you know.
True story.
Absolutely.
True story. Body knows, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And if let's go back to the tool. How would you teach it to people? How they just ask for chaos to?
Well, you could, I could, nobody else could.
Yeah,
they don't.
It's easy, right?
No, people like it hard, so they can make it as difficult as they want. But if you like it easy, you can just ask. So what would it take to instill some chaos to create magic here? What would it take to instill some chaos to create a different possibility here? And just ask, what else is possible?
And then they need to shut up.
Yes.
And don't fill in the blanks. And this is it. That's where the magic begins, right?
That is exactly where it shows up. It's when you allow your body to override your head. So go with your knowing and not with your head. Allow your body to override your head. So yeah, it is. It's like, I'm not going from my head. It's, what is body? What do you know? Infinite being, energetic space and consciousness. What do I know that's not this linear reality that everybody tells you has to be and you have to do? What do I know? And shut up. And it's not that you're going to instantly get a, this is what it is. It's just something that you'll come across, or somebody might ask you a question, or you might see something and it just lights you up and you're like, that's what it is. And you will know when it shows up. You will know. But when you ask with a point of view that it's like, there's many tools that I love. So before I started doing Access Consciousness, I used to do a lot of stuff with the law of attraction. So I am rich and wealthy and money flows easily to me. I am rich and wealthy and money flows easily to me. But it was always very heavy, because at the bank.
Flowing.
Yeah.
Flowing.
It wasn't flowing. except out, not in. There was no inward flowing to me.
I'm sorry.
It's true. And it was like, money flows easily to me, past me, doesn't stop. It's like, pass go, do not collect £200. Like, that's it. Like, end up in jail. That was like, my life was a game of Monopoly, like that, literally. And, and so for me, with the tools of Access Consciousness, it's like, what would it take for money to flow easily to me? That's a completely different ball game. That's like, boom, baby. What would it take? Not, oh, well, for money to flow easily to me, I'd have to win the lottery. For money to flow easily to me, somebody would have to leave me lots of money. Ask a question with no answer. What would it take? And don't go to that, oh, well, I would have to do this, or I would have to do that, or somebody would have to die, or whatever. It's, what would it take? And shut up.
What would it take? And shut up.
Yes,
that's true story. I know we like to talk a lot and to share a lot but when it comes to these kind of questions, this is the only requirement there is. Ask your question and then shut the fuck up.
True story, my friend. True story. And that was one of the big tools that came from Costa Rica. That's what Gary kept saying, was like, shut the fuck up. When you are that space of shut up, people have to then just search that little bit harder. They have to just reach, rather than being in that comfortable space where they expect everything to be given them on a plate. Yeah. What if you
that they can dismiss it afterwards, but this is another topic.
Exactly. That's a whole other story. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just asking that question. And that is, I mean, like I said, there's tons of things that I love, but the whole asking the question thing was one of the first things that ever appealed to me in Access Consciousness, because it just put that whole different spin on this law of attraction that hadn't been working. Like, it really wasn't changing anything. And I'm there writing mantras out over and over again, like sitting on a full moon and like releasing them, and then sitting on a new moon, putting out the intention.
You were the only one.
Was I not? All right. It felt like I was the only one, and I'm doing it and nothing's showing up. And then along comes Access Consciousness. And I remember in my first class, the lady who was facilitating me said, so if you could get anything out of this class, what would you like today? And I was like, oh, I want to create my business. I would love to have business premises. And I had been looking for business premises after being mobile, and really wanted to have somewhere that I could start teaching from and working from. And so she asked me some questions. So, what do you know about having a business? And where would be fun for you and your body to work from? And shutting up. So it left me in that space. So what energy space consciousness can I be to have the perfect premises for me show up right away? And shut up. And within 2 weeks of taking my class, I got a phone call from a lady who I'd been going to rent her premises in the August, and this was the December. And in the August, she decided she wasn't retiring, and so I couldn't have her premises after all. And in the December, she literally rang me up and went, hey, Theresa, I decided to retire. It's yours if you want it. Come and get the keys today. And I was like, oh my God. And it just happened. So, and I was like, I wonder if this has got anything to do with that access stuff that I did. And
absolutely not. It was a simple coincidence,
It must have been a coincidence. I didn't ask for it at all.
Oh, yeah.
And that is the magic in following your knowing. When you ask, it shows up. Not always the way you expect it to, not always from where you expect it to, but it shows up and things happen. Magic gets created. And in that kind of brings us right back to the chaos, because when you're controlling and you're like, how is it going to show up? Where's it going to show up from? You've got this control. When you go, where's it going to show up from? Let it go. Throw those molecules up in the air and allow the universe to work its magic while you're continuing to create and to be generative. It's not like throw them up in the air and go and sit on your ass and watch Netflix. It's like throw them up in business. Right?
And then they hit you in your head.
Yeah, like boom, boom, yeah. So, but when you keep choosing.
This is a second meme. You just throw molecules out in the air and you go watch Netflix. Well, you could. You never know. It depends on how much ease you want to. You're you are willing to have in your life. What if it was so easy that you threw the molecules in the air and then you just went and watched Netflix? What would it be if you were willing to be present with those molecules and put up a helping hand? And
do you know, there have been times where I have asked a question and then been like, bugger it, I'm going to watch the telly. And and I have, but then you might watch something if you're willing to be present with it. I've watched stuff and gone, oh my God, I could do a class on that. Oh wow, did you hear what? That's a meme. And you might get that spark of inspiration, and it could come from a child in the playground. It can come from watching The Walking Dead on Netflix or whatever, whatever it takes. And that's that chaos. It doesn't come from, I must sit at my computer from 9 till 5 every day and this is how a business is done. It's like, okay, I should be working now, and what am I doing? I'm having fun with Salima. Cool. Is that going to create more for me? Yes.
What do you know?
What do I know? I know you're amazing. I know we're amazing. And it's like, it's just so much fun. And anything is possible if you're willing to choose it.
Anything can change, as Gary said. Nothing is there that cannot change. Mm-hmm. Are you willing to choose it?
Yes.
Theresa, thank you so much for this conversation, for this bubbly, fizzy conversation. I know we can go on and on and on and on and on. We love that. And it doesn't show, right? It doesn't show.
Far too serious and boring.
We allow it to be seen. Thank you so much for this bubbly conversation.
Thank you.
And I would not go away until you tell us, if people want to stalk you, follow you, find you, people want to stay in contact with you, where do they find you? Because you're also giving classes, you're hosting classes, you're organizing classes, you're also a coordinator for all translations. You're there in the big stuff. I mean, like, whoa. So where do we find you?
You can find me. I have a Facebook profile as Theresa Finnigan. I also have a Facebook page, Theresa Finnigan. And in the very, very, very near future, there will be theresafinnigan.com, my new website.
How does it get any better than that?
How does it get any better than that? Currently, I have a website that's called Crystal Cottage, which is my therapy center that showed up like magic after my bars class. So I do have a therapy center, but Theresa Finnigan is the website is going to be more about the classes that I facilitate and the change that I can help people choose if they wish to choose it. And I'm also on the Access Consciousness website I've got a public profile on there, so you can find me on there too. But the next big things that I have coming are, I've got two foundations, one in Devon and one in Scotland. And then there's a certain Miss Selena and I have a 3-part freak out telecall coming at the end of September. So
the freak out call about money, about business, and about relationships.
So yeah, if you think this is crazy like half an hour or however long we've been on. Imagine what 3 telecalls with us could change for you. So don't choose it.
And now in this call, we really, I mean, the whole idea behind this call is to show you how these tools get in action. And you have this absolutely phenomenal way of expressing that and showing that, which makes it so vivid. And that's, you know, in a telecall, there's a different energy behind. Absolutely. And there's a lot more that gets on the table.
We can go to lots of other places and spaces, and
wherever your body requires it. So until next time, thank you so much.
Thank you, my friend, and I'm so happy to have been asked to do this, so thank you.
I'm so happy that you accepted this invitation. Thank you so much. Mwah!
Thank you.
Bye. See you.
Bye. Bye.